I am going to be really super close in there because this trim that they put on is actually going downhill that way, and so I have to have enough room to get my tile up in there. So let's take a quick look at this. We've got our flashing, then the flashing can't move. Okay, it's 2 inches tall, and you see where the flashing is over here? Look, that tile is consistently about 3/8 of an inch higher than the flashing. Now why is that? Because the tile isn't 2 inches. So let's take a look at this. We got to work our ways backwards so we can figure this out, because we got to make sure when that floor goes in, I still have to fit the tile underneath that lip. Okay? You see the lip here? The tile fits under there. And that's how it's designed. This was the existing floor. And you would think there's plenty of room, but we've got to double check. So here's the tile. And see, it's almost 1 7/8 inches. Okay, almost 1 7/8 inches. And I looked at quite a few of the tiles. See there, 1 7/8 inches, almost. Yeah, right there is 1 7/8 inches. Okay. Well, that's less than 2 inches, but there's this stuff. This stuff is underneath the tile before the floor. Here's the floor, and then there's some padding stuff. See that? That goes underneath the tile, and it's just little plastic doohickeys on a plastic sheeting. See there? And it's kind of, I don't know what that bottom plastic's for. It's maybe just holding it together. That was kind of like a membrane type thing. You've got this top felt. So theory had it, if water went through there, it goes through that. It runs through this all the way down. Boom, 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 out through the holes of the flashing. And anything that didn't got on the membrane, boom, 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 went underneath this whole thing, went on top of the wood and went out. Okay, so when we measure that, I'm getting 1/2 inch. So our tile, 1 7/8 inches plus half is 2 3/8 of an inch from the floor. Do you follow me so far? 2 3/8. Okay, now let's go over to that column and figure this out. Okay, so follow me here. I've got this line here, and that was with the 2x6 going flat there all the way up to this point. I've got the pencil mark coming down, the pencil mark here coming down. Then I took my level right here, and I first put a level mark across there. Then I did the same thing over here. Level all the way across. Now this one I can fluctuate a little bit because I don't have this notch, do I? But yet they made a notch over here. And this was the old stair riser at the very end of the stairs, the very top of the stairs. And then you can see the plywood, and then they have that black tar paper stuff, and then they had a piece of flashing. See, there's a double flashing. See the flashing that goes down, then you see a line, then there's flashing that goes up. So that's what we have. That's what we have here. Okay, 2 pieces of flashing. And I didn't take that all apart yet, and I'm glad I didn't. And initially, I had held it up there, and there was something in the stucco. There's a groove in the stucco there, and I tried to make sure I didn't break that off. And then we have this, and initially, before I took this down, I put a pencil mark up there a long time ago for this tip to be up there. Okay, and then the tile went just a little bit above that, remember? 3/8. You can kind of see where it was rubbing on here, about 3/8 higher than that. Okay, but now we gotta work backwards. Okay, because no matter what, when I put my level, this was disheartening. I put my level on this trim, on that stucco mold right there. Look at that. Not even level. Level is down there, which means that tip over there, they should have raised it up higher, but they didn't. They didn't. And so I've got to work from that corner on down. And so first off, we know that no matter what, with this flashing, I've got to be 2 3/8 because that little 1/2 inch stuff fits on top of here, then the tile, and then that tile fits up 3/8 above this. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's going to be 3/8 above this. You follow me? Tiles 1 7/8, and then the 1/2 inch little plastic stuff underneath that. That's 2 3/8. So no matter what, I've got to be 2 3/8 down from that point down to the subfloor. 2 3/8. Okay, I'll put a mark. I've got to stop the camera, I'll put a mark, and we'll see what's going on here. See that little notch right there? That was for that trim piece that kind of went down at an angle. They had the floor down first, and then they tried to stucco underneath it. So this whole time I've been trying not to break that off, and it kind of fit in there. But let's follow this through here. 2 3/8 from the top, and my tape measure has a little magnet on the top of it. You see those 2 little round things? That's a magnet. Look at that. And you can't, it's hard to see it with me holding the level. You just have to trust me. 2 3/8 from the top down to that first pencil mark. Okay? That's tight. We know that this is actually going uphill. We held the level on there. You see, level is right like that. So the highest point, or the lowest point in this stucco is right there. And we've got plenty of gap here. Even if this level, even if we kept the floor level at this point to there, and then going back down at an angle for the rest of the floor. Okay? So far so good? Oh, I'm explaining all this stuff so that you can get your thought process when you start building stuff and so forth and so on. Okay, so I know I've got plenty of gap there. So if we go from the top down to that first line, that's 2 3/8. Then I'm allowing 1/8 of an inch because we got both pieces of flashing, you know, the one going up, the one going down. That's giving me a slight fudge of a little less than a 1/16. I could raise that up just a hair. And what I've cut, and then I leveled this. I put a level mark from this point this way. That's a level line. Okay? You see that? From there to there. I've got to have, my floor's got to be from this point down 3/4 of an inch thick. I only got 5/8 there. What does that mean? That means I got to lower that mark at least. I got to lower that mark right there at least down another 1/8 of an inch or so. That's where the top of my floor's got to be. Okay? So if that's the top of my floor, and if this is level, and if I kept that point right there, my floor here is actually not level, it's actually going downhill. Isn't it? Going downhill from this point downhill. And if I did that, I mean, I can do that, but then any water that's in this area here is going to go out this way, down through the weep holes. So some of the water coming from up there, it's going to come here, and then it's going to swale over this way, and guess where it's going to go? That's right. It's going to go right on top. It's going to go through the little weep holes. See the weep holes there? See? Those weep holes. There's weep holes on this piece of flashing here. So any water from this point, this way, if I had the floor down lower, it's going to go this direction right here. And then the water's going to hit here, and guess where it's going to go? Right on top of my step. And the water's going to puddle here. I do have this angled. I do have this area angled, but I'm going to have to really caulk this and seal this really good. I have to seal that really good, that really good, that really good, that really good, all the way down, because all the water is going to hit right here, and then it's going to go shusher, 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 and that's where this water is going to go if I leave this exactly there. And incidentally, I was going to show you the step. I've been using it as a plank. This was the top step, and look at that corner. That corner of that step is all of this stuff right here. See this? And if I flip this upside down, I should flip that upside down for you because it's an eye opener. Alright, I'm going to move these 2x6s so you can see this step in action.